cold though in the morning. We're starting off in the 40s here in the valley, so you want to grab a jacket. It's one of those days where you could have the winter coat first thing in the morning and be in a t-shirt by the afternoon. So definitely changes as we move from morning into the afternoon. 44 right now. We are looking at a chilly morning. Temperatures stuck in the 40s here in Las Vegas through at least the 8 o'clock hour. 50s then from 9 to 10 in the morning, and we'll get up near 60 degrees as we head toward late morning, and that's a good thing. That sets us up to run towards 68 this afternoon. That's 6 degrees warmer than we were yesterday, so you should be able to feel the difference if you're outside this afternoon. 71 a possibility in Pahrump, 69 in Mesquite, and a mid and upper 60s, about 10 degrees above average here in Las Vegas on this Thursday. Now, tonight, we'll cool down to the 40s, occasional high clouds, generally just a clear sky. We'll see cool nights ahead, temperatures in the low 40s, but the bigger takeaway is going to be how warm it is each of the next few afternoons. Getting outside today, well, you've got some options. Red Rock Canyon, a little breezy, but 64. Mount Charleston up to 60, and Lake Mead, 67. Not too much wind out on the lake either. The wind here in Las Vegas should be pretty quiet today and tomorrow, but Saturday you'll notice some 20-mile-per-hour gusts. Those come in from the northeast. Now, curiously, Saturday may end up being the mildest day. That's when we think we'll hit 70 here in Las Vegas. And then Sunday we're back to calm conditions. Where the wind is going to be a different story is down the Colorado River Valley from Lake Mojave to Laughlin. Gust of 35 miles per hour today and tomorrow. Even stronger wind down toward Laughlin on Saturday. A little breezy here in Las Vegas on Saturday, but with 70 and some sun, we'll manage just fine, thanks. Calmer on Sunday, 67 then, so nice finish to the weekend. Now Monday, another round of some breezes. It's also Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Day. We'll be in the low 60s for the holiday. Those breezes continue on Tuesday, and that's when we'll really start to cool it down. Temperatures closer to average for January. Tuesday, Wednesday, Kalina, we're looking at highs only in the 50s.
All right, Justin, thank you. We have new information on the crash that sent one person to the hospital. Officers, now believe impairment is a factor. Police say the victim was hit by a car at Charleston and Pecos yesterday evening. That person was rushed to UMC in critical condition. Detectives are still investigating what led up to the crash. And we also have an update on the fire at a wedding chapel. Las Vegas firefighters say once they went back to the scene, they found someone dead inside. The fire happened near the Strat off Las Vegas Boulevard near 4th Street. Firefighters are still working to figure out what started that fire. Commissioner William McCurdy II and a group of Major League Baseball players are coming together to help those in need. They're teaming up to give food and baseball equipment to local families with kids. Now, the event is today from 3 to 5 p.m. at the Doolittle Community Center. It's free and supplies will be given on a first-come, first-served basis. Next week, members of the Culinary Union will be hosting a food drive at the Hollywood Recreation Center. Now, this is happening Wednesday. Registration is not required for the drive-through giveaway, and anyone is welcome while supplies last. The event starts at 12:30 and goes until 2:30 in the afternoon. Well, the lottery just keeps growing. No one won the Powerball jackpot after yesterday's drawing, sending the top prize to about $640 million. That was the 34th drawing in a row without a winner, so you still have another chance on Saturday. Now, between the Powerball and the Mega Millions jackpot, get this, nearly $1.4 billion are up for grabs. You can check out the lines here at the Lotto store. This was just south of the Valley, and this was the scene yesterday. Now, if you're planning to go to Prim to buy your tickets, as you can see, that's a pretty long line, so you might want to head out there early. Now, if you want to try your luck elsewhere, you might have to take a little longer of a drive. Besides Prim, you can head up 60 miles to the Nipton Trading Post in California. That'll take you about 55 minutes, or you can drive 64 miles to the Shell gas station in Nipton. You can also drive to the Arizona border to get your tickets. The closest store is Arizona Last Stop in White Hills, which is about an hour and 3 minutes to be exact, followed by Grand Canyon, Texaco. That's just about 86 miles from here. And we'll post all this information on your website in case you want to check it out. Time now, 5:18. Good morning, Las Vegas. Jacob Blake one-on-one. His first interview since he was shot by a police officer, leaving him partially paralyzed and sparking nationwide protests. Plus, new guidance from doctors for young athletes. Why they're encouraging wearing masks even during a competition. And here's a look at some of the shows you can catch tonight right here on Channel 13. 8 o'clock, Celebrity Wheel of Fortune, followed by The Chase at 9. 10, The Hustler. Then watch 13 Action News live at 11. Welcome back. Jacob Blake is speaking out in his first interview since he was left paralyzed after being shot by police. ABC's Monica Shramdi has the details in today's GMA First Look.
An ABC News exclusive.
What's going through your mind?
Michael Strahan one-on-one with Jacob Blake in his first TV interview since this caught-on-tape incident in August. The 29-year-old father shot 7 times by police in Kenosha, Wisconsin, leaving him partially paralyzed, all unfolding as his sons watch from the back seat of the car. The incident once again sparking protests across the country.
7 times.
I kind of went limp. But all I remember at that point was kind of leaning back, looking at my boys. I said, "Daddy love you, no matter what." I thought it was gonna be the last. I thought it was gonna be the last thing I say to them. Thank God it wasn't.
The ABC News exclusive interview coming up at 7 a.m. With your GMA First Look, I'm Monica Sarabdi, ABC News, New York.
Soon we may get answers about the helicopter crash that killed Kobe Bryant and 8 others. The NTSB is holding a hearing next month to try to determine the cause of the crash. The agency ruling out engine and mechanical failure. Investigators have yet to give a probable cause for the January 2020 crash. The chopper crashed into a hillside. Witnesses say the area was surrounded by fog at the time. Despite fewer drivers on the road in 2020, more people died behind the wheel. The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration just released traffic death data between January and September. Now, in that time, more than 28,000 Americans died in crashes. During the same period in 2019, that number was just under 27,000. Authorities blame the increase of risky driving behavior that some people developed when there were fewer cars on the road early on in the pandemic. Applications to refinance a home loan are going up. According to the Mortgage Bankers Association, applications spiked by 20% last week. That's the highest level since March of last year when the pandemic started. Demand for homes is still strong as more people look to move out of apartments, but there's a record low supply of houses for sale. A good morning, Las Vegas. Time now 5:24. Doctors preparing for the worst. Why they say the next stimulus check could trigger more people to overdose on drugs. After months of delays, researchers from across the world are on the ground in China, hoping to find out more about the beginning of the coronavirus. And we have a live look outside on this Thursday morning. You're watching Good Morning Las Vegas. Stick with us. We'll be right back.
Action News. Good Morning Las Vegas.
Preparing for the surge, right now Valley Hospital is bracing for more patients who got sick over the holidays. Companies are creating masks meant to do more than just cover your face, but doctors have their doubts. We take a closer look at the claims. More tech at CES this year, and a lot of it is to help consumers get through the pandemic. We're taking a look at more products this morning.
It's nighttime. The Vegas Golden Knights will kick off their season tonight at T-Mobile Arena, this time with their first ever team captain. We're coming up with the details on the changes this season.
All right, Kelsey, we'll check in with you again in just a bit. First, though, good morning, Las Vegas. Thank you so much for joining us live on TV, Fire TV, or wherever you're streaming us. I'm Kalina Estrinos. Dave has a morning off, but here with us, First Alert meteorologist Justin Bruce, live from home with more on your forecast. Justin?
Now, Kalina, we've got good news. I expect it to be about as mild as it has been this afternoon than over the past 3 weeks and change. So upper 60s for the first time in a long time. It is chilly outside on this Thursday morning. You can take a look, and still dark out there. Sun is up just after 6:30 this morning. That's when we'll start to enjoy more daylight outside. 44 right now at McCarran, so it's a cold morning, down to 39 at Nellis. We'll be in the 40s through the commute. 50s will give way to low 60s by noon, and then through the rest of the afternoon, a good bit milder than yesterday with that high of 68 here in Las Vegas, maybe up to 71 in Pahrump. Not too much wind today or tomorrow, but Saturday a bit breezy. Kalina will talk about how long the mild air sticks with us next.
Justin, thank you. Let's go to our traffic this morning. Giving you a live look right now on the 215 right at the airport connector. No problems to report here. It's wide open. We do have some construction, though, on the 215, so give yourself some extra time if you travel that way. Henderson looks good. Summerlin, Centennial Hills, North Las Vegas, and no issues so far on the 15 north and southbound. Very, very quiet morning commute. Nevada's test positivity rate continues to rise. Our 14-day average now at 21.5%. Health experts would like that to be at 5% or lower. State health officials are reporting more than 1,100 new cases in just the past 24 hours. More than 253,000 people have been infected since the pandemic began, and 50 new deaths have been reported. Nearly 3,600 people in Nevada have now lost their lives to the virus. Valley hospitals are bracing for the full impact of people gathering for the holidays, despite warnings not to. One hospital issuing a disaster declaration after getting a surge of patients. 13 Action News reporter Jeremy Chen shares how local healthcare workers are dealing with the pressure.
Valley hospitals being stretched and facing pressure as capacity remains high with COVID patients still showing up. St. Rose Dominican Hospital in Southwest Vegas issuing a disaster declaration, saying it had an ICU occupancy of 137% and treated more than 70 COVID patients this past Saturday. Sunrise Hospital is continuing to deal with high capacity as it set up a specific treatment center outside to be proactive with COVID patients.
The purpose is to treat COVID patients in those early stages, to prevent hospitalization, to take off that pressure.
It's asking people if they need to go to the hospital for a serious issue, they should still come.
I don't want any patients out there to not come to the hospital, but what's most important for the community is to protect themselves, and what we encourage is masking, social distancing.
UNLV health professor Bryant echoing those calls.
You don't want people to stay home and have a serious condition and they wind up dying from that condition in their homes. That's the challenge, though, is how do we take care of all of those